Stanford received 53,733 applications for their class of 2027. 91% of the enrolled students had a GPA of 3.75 or higher, and their median SAT scores were between 1510 and 1580. Yet Stanford's acceptance rate? Only 3.9%. That means despite these perfect GPA and stats, they were rejected from not only Stanford, but even from the other schools they applied to. Because the truth is, college admissions is getting increasingly more competitive, and stats are not everything. In fact, I believe that extracurriculars are single-handedly the most important part of your application. Of course, there is some nuance in this. You cannot expect to get into a top 20 school with a 2.0 GPA and a 1,000 SAT, because that's just not realistic. Maybe there was one or two students in the past, but the way to approach college admissions is no longer to just obsess over the stats and your grades. Of course, they are important, but the truth is you need to be building your extracurriculars. How could I do that? Well, in this video, I will be giving you the foundation of building good extracurriculars and a story for your application to maximize your chances of getting into a top 20 school. Yeah, I used to watch those kids who get 1600s, take every subject test in the world, get 800s on those, and still maybe even get rejected to their dream school. The point is, what matters a lot more than just your stats, you don't have to have perfect stats. You have to have a narrative. There has to be something that sets you apart in some way from the rest of the pool. Because if you really think about it, college application is you just marketing yourself, and colleges basing whether or not they should apply. Because they want the applicant who will succeed in their environment, and that's proven by the stats, yes. But beyond that, they want a kid who will not only succeed, but thrive in that environment. They're looking for people who will be innovators. They'll change the world down the line. And it doesn't even have to be that crazy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to get into top schools. What I did, and I think this strategy would have been amazing if I knew this freshman year or even before, because I mostly learned this end of sophomore year, which was a little bit late, but even if that's not super late, because I was still able to have amazing results, I would say, with not as much time knowing all this college stuff, You have to create a narrative around your entire application, right? For me, that was financial literacy. That was a big thing for me, so I wanted to create a platform where I could help kids, right? That was my whole thing. In all of my essays and everything I wrote, which I will even share with you guys, I'll share all of that in other videos, was based around that theme. I wanted to help millions of people one day, and I was really into tech, and those two alone will help me a lot in what I'm applying for. I'm applying as a CS major. Even if you don't know what you want to apply for, just narrow it down to your interests. You could be a ballerina who loves helping kids swim. That's your dream. You can show that by having ballerina classes or whatever you have, and then having maybe you start a little project where you just help kids swim, or you literally have a job that helps kids swim. Things like that will narrow you down and help you be memorable in the actual college application process. The kid with 1580 SAT and perfect grades who really didn't do much in high school other than that, they're not gonna have that much of an upper edge against me, a kid like me, because colleges can get millions of those kids, not millions, but a lot of those kids, and there's no need for them to accept another paper and pencil kid who's just gonna go to the school, get the degree, and leave. They want kids who will actually make a difference, and that's why you guys need to differentiate yourself, not with just stats, but with extracurriculars. And if that sounds super overwhelming to you, don't worry, because I'll make videos on that as well that will go deep into each step and how you can frame your entire personal self, or not even personal self, just live your life. You can honestly just live your life, and following that way, being mindful of what you need to do and not just obsessing over little minute stats will help improve your chances drastically of getting into your dream school. So you're probably wondering, how can I create an extracurricular list that colleges would actually be impressed by and could even help me gain admission into the top 20 schools? Well, that's a great question. What most students try to do when they're approached with this question is a resume pad. And this Now looking back, it makes a lot more sense to me, but this is a terrible way to look at it. You've probably been told to join clubs freshman year, and yes, I do agree. You should join clubs freshman year, branch out. That freshman year is your time to experience as much as you can. But once you identify your interest, you need to lock that in. Instead of joining 6 different science clubs, find the science you like the most. Maybe it's physics, okay? You don't have a physics chapter at your school? Start one. You have a physics chapter? Try to gain leadership. Impact and results. Now, what is impact? Impact is people you've either helped, problems you've solved, or it could even be things you've discovered. And then what are results? It's the numbers. How many people did you help? How many people use your product? How many people did you sell to? Those are the numbers. Now, the reason I say these 2 are the most important things is because in your Common App itself, you're going to be listing your extracurriculars and ranking them. And when you have numbers and results that you can put on to those extracurriculars, colleges can see them and see that you've actually done something with your time. That they can then think and be like, oh, if we admit this student, they're going to do the same thing at our college, because colleges, at the end of the day, are kind of like a business. They want students who will be proven to gain success and give back to their college, right? So now if you can do this at an early age in high school, then that is showing them that you are someone that they want to admit, okay? Now, if you're feeling completely overwhelmed by the college application process or just want some personalized help, I'm offering free one-on-one consultation calls where I will go over exactly where you are in the admission process and how you can improve in order to be a competitive applicant. Now, I must end a video like this by saying do not make your entire personality college applications and getting into a top school. Yes, it's true that you want to get into a top school and you have big ambitions, but the truth is, college will not just magically make your dreams come true. Even getting into Harvard or Stanford, just because you get accepted doesn't mean you're automatically just gonna be the next CEO of, I don't know, the next AI-powered company. You've got to put in the work, and there's gonna be nobody else who puts that in besides you. And at the end of the day, perfecting every little part of your application and being genuinely unhappy is not worth getting into a top school. You need to make it sustainable or you're just gonna burn out. If this video helped you out, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as I plan on releasing a lot more content like this in order to help students get into their dream schools. If you have any questions, please leave a comment as I try to respond to them all. Thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of your day.